looking at the bluffs.
Hey, everyone. Angela O'Hare here, your favorite Las Vegas realtor.
And I'm Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor.
And welcome to our monthly market update. Today, we are going to be going over October 2023 numbers. It may be a long one this time. Last time, I thought I'd try to cut in half. However, there was no difference. So I thought, well, let's just keep to our same format. And we're going to be talking about new construction at the end of this video. So if you want to learn more about all the deals happening on new construction in Las Vegas, stay tuned to the end, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. All right.
There's some surprising stuff in there. That
some
you're
really
wanna
good
know.
deals. And if you watched us last year this time, what did I say, Rob?
Somebody was really, really right. And if you didn't listen to her, you really, really missed out.
Yeah, just think they could have gained some equity if they bought last year.
Well, I mean, and just the comfort of what they would have had to know they got a deal when not a lot of people were getting deals. And
right.
Had they gone to the right place, bing, 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 3-point shot. I just had a tennis player friend who bought late last year. Same thing. He nailed it. He nailed it. I was like, you got lucky.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go over the numbers, and the title of our video, I can't remember what it said, but it's an interesting market, right? It's a bizarre Las Vegas housing market. Okay. And so we're just going to dive right into it and talk about what exactly happened last month.
Yeah, stuff happened.
All right. So obviously, if you read the RJ, do not believe anything that the RJ says because they are wrong. They said the median price was $499 in the RJ. And
yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's get started. So there were 1,699 single family homes that sold in the month of October, which is down 6.7% from September and just slightly down 1.5% year over year, which to me, we are getting into our traditional selling season. The slower times, October, November, December are traditionally slow here in the Las Vegas Valley.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So that didn't shock me. And the median price went from $450,000 to $449,000, which is only $1,000 decrease, which is 0.2% decrease and 2% from last year, above last year.
Listen, folks, there it is. There's your crash.
The crash is happening right now in Las Vegas.
We have a $1,000 decline in the
median price.
It is actually pretty surprising to me how gosh, that's how, speaking of roller coaster, it's like that's showing strength in a time that is traditionally slower anyway. And, maybe the sellers would expect to have to wheel and deal a little bit more. And we only lost $1,000 off the median.
Right. I mean, a lot of my clients and a lot of YouTubers out there say the market's crashing. They see all these price decreases happening. And the reason you're seeing the price decreases is because that home was overpriced to begin with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're going back to times when you could overprice property and then maybe even get your number or maybe not have to change your price at least.
Exactly.
But we are in different times for sure. I think that people are squeezed as far as what they can purchase. They're not as, liberated to buy whatever they want. So sellers, you got to wake up and make your price right. If your price is right, boom, you're selling. And we got proof right here today.
And that's why you have homes that are on the market over 30 days. There's a couple of reasons. One is that it could be a piece of crap house. Two, it's overpriced to begin with. And 3, location. Right.
Yeah, but you can overcome all of that with one thing, and that's the price.
Price it right.
Yeah,
exactly. So if you go on Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com and you see price decrease, it's not because the market is crashing. It's because it was overpriced to begin with.
Well, and this is something I talked about in some of my videos that it's a race to the bottom for the sellers. The bottom is not much of a bottom, though. But if you wait too long, you lose money. And so the longer you wait to change your price and make it reasonable, or if you don't go on market with the right price, then you are losing money and you will be in that race to the bottom, which I think is ridiculous that you're making a bad choice doing that.
Yeah. And the longer the home sits on the market, the less likely you are to actually have any I don't know what the word is that I'm thinking of, but when it's on the market longer, the buyer's going to be asking for the barn, right? They're going to be
Yes,
asking
exactly.
for a lot.
Your strength is not there.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start changing your price, now you're showing your hand. You're showing one card in poker. Not a good idea. So, look, if you're in that position, you have to do it. Do it. Don't worry about what I'm saying. I mean, the most important thing is getting it done. Or if you're in a flexible position and you feel like maybe you can wait, then wait. Okay, maybe springtime springs like it usually does. But look, who's got a crystal ball?
I wish I had a chart to show you the consistency of the median price over the last few months. It's relatively hovering. It's been very stable. So there's a couple factors that can affect increase or decrease the median price, and we're going to go over that. But I do want to go over, like I always do, what the median price was last year in October 2022. So we're actually, I think, good apples to apple number comparison from last year, because that's when the interest rates were climbing considerably.
Yep. A lot of freak out at that time.
Yes, a lot of freak out. So October 2022, the median price was at 440. Last month in September, we were right neck and neck with the median price, right? So now we're still 9,000 above a median price compared to October 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so that means to me, there's no crash coming. All right. And then October of 2021, the median price was 410,000. And October 2020, the median price was 340,200. So as you can see, we are nowhere near the 2021 number or the 2020 number, right?
Yeah. I don't even like to say the word crash anymore, because I just think it's kind of
overused.
Yeah, it's overused, and it's really not what we're gonna what's gonna happen. Look, if things go down, if prices go down, I just think it might be more of a correction, and it's going to be correcting based on the conditions of the market. And that's going to be something that takes place over time. And so that's why when they speak of rates being higher for longer, that's where you go, okay, well, what effect will this have on the market if these rates stay higher for another year?
Right.
Okay, now you're talking reasonably that maybe, that pressure could slowly build up. Maybe people get used to it though and go, you know what, these rates aren't killers. And here's something I'm going to say: why our median home price will hold up and continue to hold up is because if sellers are smart, they're going to do what we're going to talk about later, a little bit of the builders, what they're doing, right? They're going to offer some incentives that allow the buyer to help them buy that property, okay, and then keep that price. So I'll backload my property with a little bit of buyer incentive if I need to, and I'll keep my price, which in other words, that keeps our median price
stable.
Yep.
Yeah. And you got to remember that we get a lot of people from other states that the market is still okay and they still can sell their house. They have still awesome equity in it where they're making tons of money. They're still coming here and buying cash. So I would say about more than 50% of my clients, if not maybe 60, 70% are cash buyers, right?
Yeah.
And those people are, they don't have to worry about the interest rate hikes.
Yeah. And they're moving for primary residence in most cases right now. So their care is getting settled in a market that they're now going to afford, in a place that they're going to afford very comfortably, maybe compared to where they came from.
Right.
That's what I see a lot of. I'd say, I don't know what the percent, I got to find out what the percentage of out-of-state buyers are actually doing this activity right now. I think it's very, very high.
Yeah.
And so that's really what's stabilizing. Vegas is that soft landing spot for everybody. So that will continue.
And I see a lot of people relocating from Florida and Texas, the other no state income taxes.
Yeah.
Well, because the insurance rates for Florida
is right
the roof.
Yeah.
And they still want to stay in a non-state income tax. And then Texas is because they want to get rid of, both places have extreme humidity. They want a more arid climate.
Yeah. And sometimes, people, just like people might move here and decide it's not for them,
right?
Which happens probably a little bit more rarely right now. And I think I saw an interesting article about people being trapped in their mortgages, which I just thought was like, here's talk about a bait headline. I mean, it's true, but it's also not like the worst thing in the world.
Well, everyone's trapped in their mortgage unless they sell and or refinance.
Right, but they're talking about because people are in these 3% mortgages and they can't trade them in for an 8%, so they feel trapped. Like, hey, you know what? You're like, take some perspective there and try to find that positive, because you are in it. You did something right.
Right.
You insulated yourself, and sure, maybe you're in a property that you don't want to be in as much right now, and you like the opportunity to. But come on, you're okay.
Yeah.
You know, these are good problems to have.
Right.
You know.
So let's get into the luxury market real quick. And last month there were only 96 homes that sold over $1 million in the Las Vegas Valley, compared to the month before 99. So it's just not too much of a difference, only like 3, but the median price saw a major difference. And in October it decreased to in October it decreased to 1.3 million, and in September it was 1.445. Yeah. So it had 145,000 decrease in median price. And that's always, you know.
Yeah. Well, you got such small numbers that it really can be dependent on what those sales are. So that it can vary greatly month over month. But I will say this is something that, you know, goes back some years. These are the numbers, or closer to them, that we would see when we first started our market updates.
Yes.
So it's interesting. The luxury market is incredibly stable right now. It's like those people who are more wealthy and can buy luxury homes are actually, they've created a force field for each other.
Yes.
On their prices and their homes. They're not giving deals to you. There's not much luxury out there. I mean, they're holding that line so strong. And when I look at my market, I do a weekly, market watch of what's happening. You can look at it. You know, any agent can look up this information, but it is massively stable. It's unbelievable how every week it's almost on the dot, the same numbers, like the same amount go, the same amount come in, and it ends up the same every 7 days.
Right.
Very, very close to it.
Well, you got a lot of those people that are coming from those high-end states that want to have a nice luxury home, right?
Yeah, and they're having a hard time finding it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So there's sometimes, so you're in the driver's seat if you got a nice luxury property.
Yes, because you're right. Because we went to the Ridges. I've gone to Henderson, Anthem Country Club. There's not a lot of high-end stuff.
Yeah. No, what's there is there. And you can see it because, you immediately I'm getting emails from anybody who gets these properties, and myself, I would be, doing the same. And, those emails are down. Those emails are way down.
Well, the problem is a lot of people want views, and that's where the limited inventory is.
Very much so. Views. And then, oh God, if you take it down to like a single story.
Yes.
That's why that Ascension, the Peaks Village, is going to be so popular.
But
what are the views going to be?
What are the views really going to be like? Because if you ever see that plot of land, it's not all that. In my opinion, Summerlin, and I'm a Summerlin seller, but Summerlin has gotten out of hand in prices. I mean, to start out in the low 1 millions for the Pulte homes, and then the Toll Brothers homes in the mid millions, that's to me is redonkulous, especially when the Mesa Ridge started out in the 800,000 range. That's double the amount that Mesa Ridge started. Same thing with Reverence. I always say that Ascension is going to be a child of Ascension and Mesa Ridge and Reverence. Okay?
I 100% agree. I was there in taking some film and shocked how quickly it's growing there. But reason why they're doing what they're doing is the famous supply and demand. When you look for properties that are like this, you are looking at a very small pool. And the ones that are available, let's say in Summerlin West or something, they're closing out.
Yeah.
They're wrapping it up. So where are you going? What do you?
Well, there's nothing else left in Summerlin West, and then if you go further
south
north in Summerlin West, you have the more affordable homes. You don't have much luxury, so this is the new luxury. We need a new Ridges, we need a new Red Rock Country Club,
and that ain't happening.
And it ain't happening. So
in bad English.
The sad thing is that they're starting their pre-sales in this community, and I bet you people are going to buy it. But to 100%. I don't think the views are going to be like some of the other
No, I
communities.
agree. I think they're going to have some views, but my big point was that finding one story with a view
Yes,
anywhere with any kind of view, whether it's mountainside or city view, tough to find.
exactly.
Tough to find.
Yeah. So let's get back into the numbers. So now we're going to go over the number of new listings, and there were only 2,332 new listings on the market for the month of October, which is down 4.7% from the prior month and down 19.1% from the prior year. So this is the story.
Yeah. So I was a little surprised, but I saw it coming because doing the weekly numbers, you can see what's happening. I was a little surprised we didn't have more listings coming on, but they've remained incredibly stable as how much is coming on. It's not overloading at all.
Well, and the reason, and we go over this almost every time we do our market update, is sellers are not out to play. And the only time they will really sell is if they have to move or there's a family emergency or some kind of situation. They're not selling to sell, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, that trade up, right? A lot of
Right.
times you would see the trade up or the trade off that
Or
you're
the
trying to do.
downsizing, upsizing, because why would they in a 3%, if not lower interest rate, buy or upsize, downsize to an 8% interest rate? Even if they bought new construction, it's still not going to be the same.
It only makes sense when you're moving state to state and you're sort of trading down as far as your value is concerned. You're
Right.
getting still into an affordable range, and then you're just kind of waiting out how long you have to deal with the higher interest rate. And that's why a lot of people are using cash, of course. But so there are certain circumstances that this works perfectly for. But again, those probably the ones that you're mentioning, the ones where it's sort of like you're relegated. You got to do what you got to do.
Right. Well, all the listings I've had this year is because, for the most part, except for one, but they had to, they moved out of state.
Yeah. Trying to think of, most of it, mine have not been, buy and sell. Not a lot of buy and sell. Not a lot of double ending for me this year.
So that's why okay. So there's several factors. And a lot of people in the last few years also refinanced their homes. They remodeled their homes during the COVID time. So their homes are beautiful. They have the 2.53% interest rate. So why would they sell? It doesn't make sense to sell to get that higher interest rate. So hence the reason why we still have very low inventory and why the median price still remains the same.
Yep. So you want to hear an honest realtor, what an honest realtor tells you right now? Just because, there's those honest realtors out there that everybody loves to watch. And I don't find them very honest at all. I think they're, they sound honest, they sound sincere, but they have been wrong a lot. But here's an honest realtor thing to say and really mean it, not just to say it. If you're in a situation right now that you're like many other people and you've got a home, but you'd like to move, but you know what? And maybe your home isn't everything that you want it to be. And that's why, well, now's the time to do some of those upgrades. Seriously, put money into your home.
Yes.
You're not going to be unhappy if you improve your home for yourself right now.
That's what I did.
Yeah. And me too. And I'm always looking for new ways. Now I'm just looking for new ways to do it.
New projects.
And so keep doing that, because all you're doing is it's like a big piggy bank. You're putting value in that home. You're making that home more desirable for the time that may be ahead when you decide that it works for you.
Right.
So why not, improve what you see every day? That's what I would do. That's what I am doing. That's what we are doing. Of course, we love our homes and we didn't have any plans to move anytime really soon. Right. So, of course, if the opportunities were there, we would maybe have a new rental property and then buy our new primary. But, anyway, I'm running on here, but you get my point.
Exactly. So hence the reason why we have limited inventory. Okay. That is the major factor. So what that means is the available homes. Hold on. Let me see where I'm at. Oh, okay. I wanted to briefly go over in October 2022. There were 2,883 new listings on the market. So there's 551 more listings on the market last year than there is this year, meaning last year the sellers were panicking and they wanted to sell. You know what I mean? That's why we had such a huge increase in inventory. But then you'll see once October, November, December hits, that inventory kept on declining
Mm-hmm.
because there was no panic, because they're like, well, they came to reality and said, I'm staying.
Well, not only that, but there was a big surge in buying,
Yeah.
as we went into the springtime. We'll see if we have that kind of an activity again. I would think it's going to be a little less. Maybe we'll still have a robust springtime like we usually do. But anyway, that's just kind of looking ahead. We'll see.
So there's a total of 4,213 single-family homes listed without offers at the end of October, which is up 3.6% from the prior month and down 46.7% from the prior year. The prior year, there were almost 8,000 single-family homes on the market. So as you can see, we're still better than we were last year.
Yeah, as far as being a seller, as far as inventory is concerned, as far as holding the line, supplying, and the inventory is the story, always.
Right.
If we had 10,000 homes on the market right now, yeah, some of those doomsdayers would be getting near right.
Right. Right. So the only way for the doomers' predictions to come true is if we had more inventory.
It's always the story
on the market.
Yep.
It's a typical supply and demand.
It's
right?
why I'm paying attention to it every week and doing a short segment, just trying to say, hey, here is what I'm seeing. And exactly what's happening.
The problem is that these doomers, at the beginning of the year, they said tons of inventory is coming on the market. The market's going to crash. Okay, so now that it's at the end of the year, not a lot of inventory came on the market. Now they're saying, well, maybe this doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take place in 2024, possibly 2025.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know.
Then when 2024 and 2025 comes, what are they going to say?
Well,
it's going to be 2026.
I find that far more reasonable than what they've been saying, which was very much on the short side and all predicated on these things happening, like Airbnb going down, busting out.
Oh, the number of foreclosures increasing in Las Vegas. There's hardly any foreclosures.
Well, they would read. I don't know if they just read these headlines, which was
they read the headlines that are national, and then people assume that's what's happening in Las Vegas.
But it wasn't even happening nationally. It was something where it was like this goes back a little way, but just this, reframe this for a second. It was like foreclosures are up 100%.
Yeah.
They're 100% up.
But up 100% from what?
We didn't have any for a time being. So 100% was one, that was any amount was. So, that was what they were predicating it on, was like these Airbnbs, foreclosures, of course, but even more so, just some of this, and they were looking at these investment portfolios and saying they're all going to sell off. And I'm looking at it going, well, okay, what has to happen there? The rental market has to tank. Rental market's not tanking. It's not going up and away anymore, which is good, which is actually good, because we really are at an elevated point for rentals. But they're not tanking. And, it's become, so once people started getting relegated away from mortgage, being able to take, get one of these, rates on the mortgage,
right?
Well, then they became relegated to renting. So renting became even more popular. So the problem can't exist if it continues to get fed.
Right.
So there you go. You don't have those issues. So until you do, and I think you would see some of this coming. I certainly will be letting everybody know if I see any of this coming.
Right. And, a lot of them, too, were showing the top 10 cities that were having Airbnb problems. And Las Vegas wasn't even on the top 10. So my point is that they believe this person or these people that are doomers, that aren't really working agents, that don't really sell real estate, that don't really know what's going on with the market. They don't follow this market update provided by the Las Vegas realtors. They only base their videos on national things, and people just assume that's what's happening in Las Vegas, when in reality it's not.
Well, I think we talked about it before we got on air. There's sometimes they're meeting a demand. Speaking of supply and demand,
right?
There's a demand out there that says, we want the market to crash. We need it to crash. We're looking for our opportunity. We know it's going to happen. It should have happened already.
Right.
And so you're meeting this demand of people that believe these things are going to happen. And I get it. You're thinking.
Well, they found their honey hole.
Yeah. You think you're feeding the right information to people in doing that. But when you see it over and over again, the same thing,
It just gets old to me.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We might sound like a broken record, you and I.
Yeah.
But
True.
we're basing it on actual facts,
numbers.
on numbers that are coming out. That's what I tell people every day, every week. When I'm seeing the numbers every day and every week, I'm not basing this on my feeling or even my anecdotal like business, right? I'm basing it on fact that this is what's happening with the numbers. I mean, that's what you got to go with, folks. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in 2019 that you're always going to have doomers, because even back then they were saying 2020 is going to be a crash before COVID. They kept on saying 2020 was going to be a crash. But when January 2020 happened, we were heading for the most robust year ever. And of course, COVID happened. But then even after COVID in June, for 6 months, we just went crazy, right?
Yeah. I mean, and look, it's not as if you and I knew that was going to all we weren't sitting there predicting that was going to, here's what's going to happen, folks. You better get in. I mean, when we started seeing it unfold, we immediately raised the hit the siren. Hey, you better get in on this.
For a while there, we were thinking that it couldn't be sustainable. Back in 2020, when Rob and I were doing the market updates like this time, back then 3 years ago, we were saying, surely it can't sustain. Hopefully in 2021, because this is what we were hoping. Hopefully in 2021, it'll be more of a normal market. We'll have more homes on the market, blah, blah, blah. But then, as we became smarter and watching the market more closely, people who were going to buy in 2020 wish they bought in 2020. Because think of all the equity that they had gained in these last 3 years.
And I had brave, I'm sure you had them too. I had these brave people that were buying real estate in 2020 when there were, like, I remember even in the middle of lockdown, brave people. And, even I, at the time, I always have to qualify. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm like, okay, we're doing this. And then, shortly thereafter, it was like, my goodness, what an amazing,
oh my God,
way to brave through that.
6 months later, it went berserko.
But those were the things that we couldn't know or couldn't tell, the trends that were going to happen.
Right.
Like, nobody knew that. Who knew that? Did you ever hear anybody go, oh, hey, and there's, this pandemic's happening now, and what's going to happen is that all the way that people look at the way they live and use their homes and where they live, and they can live anywhere, all that's going to change?
Yeah. Nobody
was saying that until it was happening.
And to circle back on this whole pandemic, and I say this in a couple of my videos, is if we didn't have it, then we wouldn't be here right now with this dooming recession, with the high interest rates, because of the whole supply chain issues. Everything went up. I mean, everything, food, gas, housing, supplies, everything's much more expensive now. So I personally don't see how continuously raising the interest rates on homes is going to affect the recession. I think they need to just lower the gas. They need to lower food prices, and that's going to help.
Yeah.
But who am I? I'm not an economist, so I'm not an expert in the field. I can't really talk about it.
I mean, I've said this from the beginning. It's clear what they're doing. They're trying to actually thwart. And the worst part is some of the people on the lower end of the spectrum are the ones that get hurt the most. But they're trying to thwart buying and selling. They want less demand overall. Speaking of supply and demand again, they want less demand overall, and the less demand that will then cause people to have to lower their prices and be more competitive, and all different nature of.
But it's not working. It hasn't worked in a year.
It's been really, sticky, the inflation.
But you know what happened? The global banking crisis, right?
Yeah, there was,
because of the Fed's continuously raising the interest rates.
So they're willing to break some eggs to make the omelet. That's kind of you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how it is. And I think we're probably not going to, just to get into something that might matter to people, like our opinions on this. I think interest rates should stay where they're at. There has been some talk they might actually move them up in December. I don't see that happening. I think, for the most part, I think the bond market's handling the interest rate, and keeping.
But they need to really do an analysis and see the really cause and effect of what's going on.
So what I would be concerned about is if they let this out too quickly, that's actually a problem too. I actually think they're on a path. The Fed is on a path, and it has to stick to that path. The other thing is, in order to gain any credibility, they have to kind of do what they say they're going to do.
But yet, sorry, go ahead.
If they turn around and just drop rates like that, I can see actually a bigger problem with a bubble, a bigger problem with people thinking they can get in and it's safe now, and then they get into things, and then there's other things that disconnect down the road, or fall, these sort of dominoes to fall later. So it's a tough.
But my thing
scenario.
Is, why are we giving trillions of dollars? No offense to overseas, right?
Okay,
Ukraine.
Well, this is a different story.
But still, that money can come to us.
Oh, listen,
I mean, why do we support? Sorry, and I'm not a political person. I'm not either left or right. But my point is, why are we giving all this money when we already give these countries money to begin with? Why are we giving them more to support on this war, right? I'm not going to talk more about it, but the thing is instead of spending trillions of dollars overseas, they need to put it back in America.
Well, listen, I'm with you in a lot of ways there. I think it's a very complicated reasoning why, nobody voted on that. Right? Although you did, I guess, in some way. You voted the people in that are doing this crap. But,
I think things are going to change next year. And I'll go over my opinion after we finish this. We're almost done with the market update, and then we'll go over the bets, and then
we're losing people with our talk here.
Sorry, we'll get back into the market update. So that brings us to the months of housing supply. We have 2.5 months of inventory on the market, which is up 11.1% from September, but down 45.9% from the year before. Last year, October 2022, was 4.6 months. So obviously, we're half the amount of inventory we've had last year. I don't see it increasing, maybe ever so slightly, or increasing, I should say, just because the sales are down because of interest rates, but there's not enough inventory going on the market. So it's going to be more, the median price, I think, is going to still be balancing.
Yeah, there's certainly, I don't see any, nothing falling off a cliff here. And for a minute, so I called this number on my prognostication 2.5 months. I go back and check my last prognostication. It's one of the first things I say, and I didn't equivocate. I said it's going to be 2.5 months. Then after I did that, I thought, this might actually jump up a little bit more. And then the next week, I was like, oh no, we're going to be staying right there. And to my surprise, the weeks after have been, like you said, stable. Less, not a ton of inventory come on, even less than I thought was going to come on. So that's where we're staying. We're not seeing it. So
the lower inventory, the lower sales means that the median price is going to remain.
It's going to roughly be the same. And again, some of the things I touched on before, how sellers can make, still get their price and work the deals and make buyers happy if you need to. Those things hold up the price as well.
Right.
So,
and then for the days on the market, and also real quick, when it's a buyer's market, technically it's supposed to be 6 months of inventory or more. When it's a seller's market, it's under 6 months. I mean, that's a loose way of looking at it.
I'm going to say you might be looking at a buyer's market, or at least the best buyer's market we've seen in a little while, right? I mean, it's about as close to that.
And again, if the sellers have it priced right, it's a beautiful home, nicely updated, decent location, then it's going to sell fast. Yeah. If it's overpriced and needs some work, then it's going to be on the market a little longer. And also, if you're a seller, why are you using a real estate agent that's using their iPhone to take photos?
This is 2023.
I mean, this is 2023. When you vet a real estate agent, you need to make sure they're taking professional photos of your home, because you know what? When you scroll through a house, you can't get a very nice depiction of your home with those stupid iPhone photos.
No, you can't.
Right?
No, I just had a scenario where I actually had to use somebody else than my other photographer, and the photos came in, and I was like, no, I told my people, I said, we gotta hold off. We gotta get the right photos here.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be professional photographer, and it wasn't up to par. It looked like, I was like, I could have gone in better with my phone and a stabilizer.
Right.
So photos, massive. Any exposure, any video, photos, all that stuff, very important.
Yeah. So 67.2% of the homes were on the market 30 days or less, 68% for the prior month. And then last year, this time it was 53.7%. So we do have a slight uptake of homes selling faster than last year. So we do have some questions from Mr. Matt.
Yeah.
So you want to read
Hi,
his
Matt.
first question?
The question is, how many homes have a mortgage compared to free and clear?
That's a good question.
Um,
We'd have to ask a title company probably to pull
yeah.
that up.
And I mean, well, is that the question though? Because I mean, having a mortgage, you know, doesn't equate. Well, I guess what are we equating that to? Because I don't really know what we were referencing.
Well, like when we were talking, well, at that time, we're talking about people coming in and buying with just cash. So he probably wants to know how many homes are financed and how many homes are free and clear.
Yeah, it's down. It's down. You can ask any lender. You know, good lenders are still doing business.
No, but in overall, I mean, the mortgage lending is down.
Right.
But he wants to know of the homes now that are not on the market, that are in the Las Vegas Valley, how many of them have been financed and how many of them are paid cash?
And that's what I'm saying, though. It's down. It's, you know, you got traditional levels of cash buying, you know, it's compared to mortgages. We're seeing a higher level of cash buying compared to mortgages.
Right.
Not like, I'm not saying it's like this where there's a whole bunch more cash buyers. I'm saying that it's down in traditionally from how it would normally be.
You want to read the next one?
Yeah. If market shifts and say Airbnb homes start selling, we could have a mass load of inventory. Okay. Sure. But why would that happen? That's my question.
Well, two is that the reason I don't think it will happen is because of what's happening is it this weekend?
F1, yeah.
F1.
F1, Super Bowl, not anytime soon. So some of these, you know, listen, and I know even there's reports out there saying F1 hotel room rates are down and all this stuff. Okay, fine. Vegas is a tourist town. That's how it began. That's how it's, you know, continuing. And so we have a better opportunity for those Airbnbs. You are more stabilized here than, say, Arizona, where I do think you have a problem if you're in Phoenix.
Yeah, that was one of the top 10 cities that had problems with Airbnbs.
Okay, right. So other places that don't have the tourism, that, you know, why are people rocking the Airbnb? You know, that doesn't make as much sense. Well, what happened
cool.
there?
Someone gave us a thumbs down.
Why? What was the thumbs down? That was our first thumbs down.
I've never seen that before. That was pretty cool.
That is cool. Do it again. Do it again.
No, but do thumbs up.
No, I don't care. I want to know how you're doing it. Maybe it's Matt, but Vegas is, you know, look, some of these Airbnbs aren't going to make the same money, maybe, but are they going to go out of business? Yeah, I don't think
so. Well,
so.
Another thing too is I have a lot of clients that they're building new construction homes. They still need to move here. They need temporary living places. So, and then I have clients that visit for a week or two and they're staying at Airbnbs. So I don't see a decline in Airbnbs.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been some because it's from the height, but you know, look, again, these Airbnbs probably have a lot of equity. So, okay, they might decide, some of them might decide now's the time to sell. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't see a big pile up. That's my point.
Okay, so how many Airbnbs are in Las Vegas? I believe that's what's causing the shortage in housing. I have no idea.
Certainly everywhere around the country, from what I understand, the investment homes, the mass investment that has happened, and you're talking about, like, you know, what are they called? These hedge funds and Airbnb. They have bought all over the dang country, and certainly they are holding inventory that would maybe normally be there.
But, you know, for the most part, I know what I have always envisioned is a lot of the people who own Airbnbs are people like us, mom and pops.
A lot of the Airbnb, yeah,
that want to make that extra income.
Yeah, a lot of the Airbnb is like that, I would say. And, you know, again, going back to, like, whether it's any investment, if it's not churning the butter, then okay, you got a problem. But when we look at our rentals, just in particular, we can see what's happening. They're not building up and going like crazy.
Right.
If they're almost similar to houses. If you got it overpriced, then maybe that one doesn't rent for a while. But as soon as you put it in the zone, boom, it's going to rent.
Yep.
So,
you want to read the next one?
The Feds purchased a bunch of mortgage-backed securities when COVID first happened, so it made prices skyrocket. Yeah. Okay.
Well, no,
Yeah. You
I don't
tell me
agree
what.
with that.
Yeah. I'm not really sure I'm following there.
I think the reason why home prices skyrocketed is a typical supply and demand, right? We had people reassessing their home situation, like we mentioned earlier, and they were able for the first time to work from home, leave their high state income tax or state tax states to move here and work from home. So what happened was you saw so much movement that then also because of COVID, you had that supply chain issues. People couldn't get refrigerators, windows, doors. So the prices of that, because it was such high demand, went up. So wood shortage, lumber shortage, that's what increased the prices of the homes, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's ultimately wherever you look, supply and demand, inventory of whatever product you're talking about.
And also, of course, having the lower interest rates
Yeah. Yep.
help that.
And this is where everybody who knows what they're talking about, I'm talking everybody, is saying, well, the Fed screwed up. They did not raise rates early enough.
Right.
They waited too long for whatever reason. They waited too long. They should have done it at least 3 to 6 months sooner.
Yep.
I would say 6 months we'd be in a different story. 3 months we'd be in a
They
slightly
should have done
different
it in 2021.
story. Absolutely.
When they saw how all these home prices were getting out of hand, they should have nipped it in the bud in the beginning.
Yep. I have no idea why they didn't. They said it was transitory. At least that was, from a political stance, or I don't know where the people, the leaders, whatever. Transitory was the word being used. That was a lot of hocus pocus. That was bull. And I don't like crying over spilt milk, but that's some spilt milk that's hard not to think about and go, man, how did that? If I knew as a little old real estate agent guy that this needs to happen,
right?
Why in the world did they not make that happen? I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They should have increased it a long time ago.
Yep.
Then we wouldn't be crying for wolf right now. I mean,
not as badly, certainly not. I think that it would just be a little bit more even-handed on things, and
I don't think it would have gone as high as it has.
Yeah, that just very much. First of all, I think it would have quelled that 22. Was it 22? That 22 surge that we had in spring. I think it would have just made that a little less crazy,
right?
And that would have helped not have these home spikes, and then maybe a little just more evenness throughout. Maybe just don't have to do as much.
Well, and I don't know what the other markets are, but obviously even with the interest rates going up here in Las Vegas, that hasn't lowered our median price.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Okay.
Well, that's been the inventory story.
Exactly.
So
some of the photos are so fake it's deceiving. I agree with you, Matt, on that one. I do not believe in having virtually staged photos, especially when the realtors don't indicate it's virtually staged.
They're supposed to.
I know. But to me, it's very deceiving. I mean, if you're going to have it, then have it either vacant or stage it for real in real life, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's done well and it's virtually staged and we're told about it, okay, fine, But if it,
but also include the pictures that what it looks like without that virtual stage.
Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea. I don't know.
Because I see some agents will do a picture of the virtually staged and after not virtually staged, so that way you can really see what the room looks like.
Especially if you feel like it does, there are aspects of the room being vacant is nice.
Right.
Then you should have both. You should include both. If it really doesn't look as good when it's virtually staged, maybe you just keep it virtually staged. I guess that's a call. But also, if it looks fake as hell, that's not good. I think that's terrible for your listing.
Yeah. So we are going to dive into new construction builder incentives. Last month, I did do a video about this, and I always am a firm believer in this. I'm very adamant about it. With the high interest rates for resale, new construction is the way to go. A lot of people are saying, well, the prices are overpriced, but they're slashing prices too. And you can get some super duper phenomenal deals. Last month alone, I sold 6 new construction homes. All right. Standing inventory homes. So I firmly believe in this, and I firmly believed in it last year. Okay. So plus the reason why these builders are doing it is because it is fourth quarter, right? and they want to make year-end numbers. These are normal big corporations. They want to make their year-end numbers.
Yep.
So they're
pretty honest about it.
They're going to do whatever it takes to make their numbers, right?
Yeah, they're pretty honest about what they want to try to do. You know, you go to a salesperson that's worth their salt, they're going to say, hey, listen, I can't tell you what's going to happen next year, but I can tell you what's going to happen right now. We want to get some inventory sold before the end of the year, and we might be able to have a little bit more room on some things.
Yep. So Taylor Morrison is having their fall finance savings event where they are offering, if you use their in-house lender, a 2-to-1 buy down, where the first year you get 3.99%, the second year 4.99%, and years 3 through 30, 5.99%, 30-year fixed. So this is not an adjustable, well, in a sense it's adjustable, but it will be a 30-year fix after the third year.
Yeah, these are not the adjustable rate mortgages that you get so scared
that
of.
happened in 2008
as we always say, when we're talking about something that lands at a fixed rate and is less left, but at least 1.5 points right now than what you could get if you just went with a straight rate. It's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, you take that.
Exactly. And on top of that, especially in communities that are closing out, and there's a handful of them, they want to get rid of that community by year end. You can get some really awesome deals.
Yeah, but you better bring an agent with you, and you better make sure they know what they're talking about too, and that they can help you, because look, if you go on your own without an agent, now you're stuck with the builder's agent. And I just think that there's a lot of deceit involved, not necessarily purposeful, but why not tell them?
Well, people think that they would get a better deal if they didn't have an agent, because then the builder would give the agent what they would give the agent to the buyer, if that makes sense. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
Most importantly, if you are interested in buying new construction, before you even visit that community, call an agent. Say, hey, I want you to show me this before you register, because once you register on your own, we will not be able to help you. And they're very firm on that. Every builder that I go to has a sign clear as day saying agent must be with you on your very first visit.
Yeah. And let me just make one last pitch sort of here, because it's not even a pitch. It's like, duh. Okay. Listen, whether you're looking at a new home, you're set on a new home, but you still need to know what the resales are doing. That's going to help you understand what your power is in a new home. So the only way to know, really, to go with an agent that, like us, be able to look at new homes, and if you want to, at the resales, and make a decision that makes sense for you. And then, like you mentioned earlier, what happens if you're somebody that home isn't going to be ready, but you want to come into town, rent a property for a short period of time? Well, without an agent, you're going to have a harder time doing that. We do all of that for you. And then you're paying how much? How much is that? Zero.
Yes, we're free.
Zero.
We are free.
So
this offer for Taylor Morrison is valid from now until November 30th on eligible quick move-in homes in the Las Vegas Valley area that close on or before December 29th.
Yeah. Got to hurry, folks.
Yep. So Toll Brothers is having a limited time only, subject to mortgage rate availability, and they're offering a special 5.99% 30-year fixed interest rate on limited select move-in homes eligible to close by January 2nd, which is cool. They did extend it, because if you know anything about Toll Brothers, even though they say quick move-in, it's not a quick move-in.
Yeah.
They're not that ready that fast. So that's good. At least they extended it a little longer into January.
Yeah. That's can't expect too much from Toll Brothers, but that's gonna make it happen for you right there.
Yeah. And then Pulte is offering their limited time special interest rate, 30-year fixed at 5.75% for their quick move-in homes. When you use their in-house lender on available only certain inventory homes, and you have to go under contract from now but close December 29th. So Pulte is shocking, because last year they had much better deals. They had those 2-to-1 buy downs. So I'm surprised that they're not doing that, because real quick about builders, a lot of people think that the builders have so much inventory and they're doing poorly. But the reason is a lot of these builders, and you're going to see a lot of builders like Richmond American and Woodside Homes that never done this before, are doing these quick move-in homes because of the limited resale homes on, limited inventory on the resale side. So what they're doing is, because people, when they want to buy now. They want it new, but they don't want to have to wait 6 to 10 months for it to be ready. So these builders actually are pretty smart by doing these move-in ready homes, in my opinion.
I 100% agree. And, I haven't had too many clients complain about, I don't get to do, shop all my options.
Right.
And it's pretty rare because they're making them nice.
Yes.
There's no more pony walls, folks.
No.
Okay?
Well, they have their in-house designer to pick the options that a lot of people want to have, right? Like the big sliders, the double sliders, or
the nice stair railing, And that's why I bring up the pony walls, because it's just like it's been such a massive change. The builders are getting it.
Yes.
It's almost like buying cars, because you can go, I can buy a nice Honda, I can buy a nice Toyota, I can buy, on down the line, different categories of vehicles. Well, you got up in a luxury vehicle. I've got these different ones there, and those companies those cars are all offering very similar features.
Right.
Okay. Because if they don't, they aren't competing with the other auto manufacturer.
Exactly.
So the new homes are doing the same thing. They're making sure you have a granite countertop or quartz or something in that nature that's really nice. The nice cabinetry.
Yeah, the upgraded cabinets, and they'll do also the upgraded flooring.
The flooring,
where the whole lower level or the whole main level is solid, hard, and no more carpet.
No more of this, tile in the kitchen.
Yes.
Tile in the entryway, which looks awful. And really, they have a hard time selling those when they build them. So that's another thing they figured out, is that, okay, if we do have to have this standing inventory and we have to show it, let's make sure it shows really well, similar to our model.
Yeah, they'll choose the backsplash for the kitchen, and they'll do a nice tile work in the bathroom, the primary bathroom.
Yeah, it won't be just the
generic,
the surround always. Right. So, they got smart on that.
Yep. So it's not because they can't sell it. It's because they got smart. And it's because of the limited inventory on the resale side, and they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
So next builder is Richmond American Homes. And if you go under contract from now until November 12th, you take advantage of these rates, but must close on a move-in ready home by December 29th. Now, they're always continuously changing from week to week. They may just change the dates, but keep the same interest rates. Mm-hmm. So if you're a VA or FHA, it's at 4.875%. And if you do conventional, it's 4.99%. Hey, it's still better than what the interest rate is now.
By a lot.
Right? So, but if you need closing cost assistance, then that interest rate will go up. So VA, FHA, it's at 6.25. And for conventional, it's at 6.5%. That way you don't have to come out of pocket with any closing costs.
Yeah. I would try to get that lower rate as best I could. That'd be my advice.
Right. So TriPoint Homes is actually having 3 different type of events. They're calling it their Point the Way celebration event. And during this event, you have the option to choose what works best for you on select TriPoint communities. So the first option is a 30-year conventional fixed rate at 6.5%. And it's only for certain communities like Inspirada, Overlook in Summerlin, Kings Canyon in Summerlin, and Arroyo's Edge in Summerlin.
Not bad areas.
Nope. And those 3 are all on the closeout phase.
Yeah.
So since they're closing out, what does that mean, Rob?
That means you got model homes for sale, first of all.
Right.
And if you want those model, I got them all on my YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm still putting up 1 or 2, but and I got to check to see what's been sold. So check with me if you want to find out what's been sold there. But model homes, with including everything, look at it the way you see it. You can buy it just like that. And whatever they have left is going to be closed out. They're going to try to, they want to give you that deal.
They want to close out and get rid of those 3 neighborhoods. Can you believe it? 3 TriPoint neighborhoods are about to close in Summerlin.
And
there's nothing else.
And not just them. Lennar's going bye-bye. Taylor Morrison's going bye-bye. In Summerlin West, it's all going by.
But Kestrel, which is 2 communities over or 3 communities over, doesn't have anything. You have the Crested Canyon by Taylor Morrison. Falcon Crest is okay by Woodside Homes. Then you have the Pulte Blacktail, which is all 3-story homes. Then you have Kestrel Commons, which is Vero. So the Kestrel side is more like the 3-story townhomes, 3-story
It's
homes.
a different
with,
product.
Yeah, it's a different product.
Lower end product.
So
nice,
we don't have it.
But yeah, so I've been spreading this word that if you want to get up in Summerlin West, you better do so fast.
And that's why I think Ascension is going to sell, because Summerlin doesn't have anything
ding, ding,
like
ding,
it.
ding, ding, ding.
Yep. You know what I mean?
100%. And listen, they got 7,000 square acres up there to build on, but they haven't even started.
No, 5,000.
Is it 5?
Yeah,
I thought it was 7.
Under 5,000.
Is it?
Yep. And Summerlin West.
Summerlin West.
They have under 5,000 acres left.
Okay. Well, they've got thousands of acres left, but they haven't started on it at all.
Nope.
So at all, folks. So, okay.
And you got a lot that'll be encroaching in towards Red Rock Canyon.
Yeah. So your best bet is either to buy something now, or you can wait on the doomers to see when they're right, and then other people are selling their properties.
What's going to happen is right by that mountain, Red Rock, what's going to happen? The prices are going to go up more.
Oh, yeah.
And just like Ascension, how the prices are starting in the millions, that's what's going to happen in Summerlin West.
100%.
All right. Anyway.
Okay.
And their second option is the 30-year fixed 2-to-1 buy down plus 10,000 design studio credit. Now, this doesn't have to be on this option. It doesn't have to be towards move-in ready homes. It could be build your own type of homes. However, so the 2-to-1 is for the first year, you get 5.75%. In the second year, 6.75%, but you can lock in the rate until the house is done being built.
That's wonderful.
And then the third year at 7.75%. And hopefully by the third year, the interest rates have come down and you can refinance, right?
Yeah. So that's at these 3 sites.
Azure Park, Citrine, and Arroyo Peak.
Arrow Peak. Yeah.
Arrow Peak, sorry.
That's all right.
And Arrow Peak, I don't even know why they're having Arrow Peak, because Arrow Peak is pretty much sold a lot. I mean, they're very minimal left in that Arrow Peak. Anyway, and the last option for TriPoint is the 30-year conventional fixed 2-to-1 buy down. Same thing as the other option, except for there's no closing cost incentives, and it's only in Contour and Tempo.
Okay.
And so anyway, to receive
Tempo is great, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah.
and they have sold they opened in August, and they've sold 25 of the 65 homes. They're going to be releasing those models.
Well, the problem is with
February,
Tempo
March.
is that they were very misleading in the beginning and said it was part of Summerlin, when in reality it's on the outskirts of Summerlin on the other side of Hualapai.
Okay.
So you don't have the Summerlin amenities, but you're close to Summerlin.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the way I look at it. You're Summerlin without the price, because they are not as expensive. They're still, they're still up there,
right,
but they're not as expensive as if it was right in Summerlin. And you are down to nothing available over there anyway. So you're looking at Tempo, or you're looking at, I don't know, nothing. A resale maybe. And these homes are really nice, by the way.
Well, TriPoint. And
you want to get, look, contact us, because you want to get in on a certain part of that community before they're all gone.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this is going to be it. So, if that didn't help you, make your decision on that.
So to receive this incentive, you must purchase the house by December 29th, and the home must close by May 31st of next year.
Okay.
What
do we got here?
Incentive will be applied towards closing. We'll get to, hi, Steve. We'll get to you in a minute. Steve is a past client of mine.
No, I just saw a detailed comment, and I was thinking to myself, if this is somebody coming at us, are we ready to box?
It's actually a past client. All right. Awesome. So Century Communities enjoy lower payments. So this is a really good one too.
Okay.
For the first 3 years with limited time finance savings on select move-in ready homes when you use the Century Communities in-house lender, Inspire Home Loans. So for the first year, you get 3.25% interest rate. For the second year, 4.25% interest rate. And for years 3 through 30, 5.25% interest rate. However, it only is on FHA or VA loans. Okay.
Excuse me.
And then, or you could get 5.25% 30-year fixed interest rate on a conventional loan.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now they also have another incentive where VA or FHA loans available on purchase. Oh, okay. So you have to go under contract by November 30th in order to qualify for this.
Man, you better get running.
Yeah, and I've sold recently a Century community in Sky Canyon, which they have a bulk of their communities are in Sky Canyon, and there's a handful of them in
Lake
Cadence.
Las Vegas, yeah, or Cadence, I should say, in Lake Las Vegas.
Yeah. And so that's a great incentive.
Yep.
And those houses, probably they're in the mid to upper 400,000 range and then low 500,000 range, and you can get a decent house there.
Very, very nice area. Sky Canyon, definitely an area that if you're looking for a certain price range and you want a certain nice type of home, that's where you're going to be. I'm predicting that's where you're going to live.
Yeah. All right. So we have two more builders, and then we're going to wrap up for the predictions. Lennar, my sales rep with Lennar, I sell I sell quite a bit of Lennar homes, and they're slashing the prices. They've extended their special financing and giving buyers two different financing options. The first one is the 2-to-1 buy down, where you get 3.375 the first year, 4.375 the second year, and 5.375 from years 3 through 30 fixed interest rate. Or you get a flat 5.375% interest rate 30-year, and you get $10,000 towards closing costs.
Yeah, that's great. That's, if you like a Lennar home, if you like one of their product, that's hard to beat.
And they have some awesome
and
products.
I hate to say it because Lennar's not been my friend for a while.
They haven't been, but I can sell them all day long.
They have great products.
I love their R&B garages. I love their next gen suites. I only love them really when they pay me, but
I'm just a little bitter because they blew a deal recently for me. So, anyway.
All right. So, and our last builder is KB Homes. For limited time opportunity, finance your new KB home through their home loans and get 5.875% 7 to 6 adjustable rate mortgage on move-in ready homes that close by January 31st, or just get a 6.99% 30-year fixed interest rate. And so, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, KB is, they have a specific product and specific areas, so they haven't felt the need to come down too low, but yet they are doing something for you.
Yes. Yes. So again, this is November 10th. What that means is you need to lock this crap in by the end of this month in order to qualify for these incentives, because it's basically closing by December 29th.
Here's the thing, folks. A lot of people don't want to do this work right now. They don't want to get into it because of the holidays and stuff. But if you do, you're going to be ending up getting something out of that. You're going to win, because if you wait till next year, I really just don't think any of these deals are going to be around the same way.
Well, those communities are going to be gone.
These communities are closing out. And this is where I'm starting to see such an interesting story unfolding. Yes, we have other communities, but when it comes to some of the primo top stuff, it's all going away. It's all getting more expensive. And so if you don't get in on it, I don't really like to be the hurry up, now. But I'm saying it because I mean it. I really see that this is going to be gone. It's not going to be available for you anymore.
Yeah.
So I know you're coming to town. Just decide if you can make it happen this year, because if you can, I think you're going to find that's a bonus for you.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to the questions. So you guys hit the nail on the head. People want the market to crash, so doomers feed them with crash videos. Kudos to you and other local YouTubers that speak what's happening here. Thank you, Steve. That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And you can read the next one.
Yeah. How's the Vegas market performing in various price ranges? 250 to 500, 500, 750, 750 to $1 million over. Are there big differences in how homes are selling in these price ranges?
Well, for one thing, it's very hard to find anything really decent 500 and under, more so 400 and under. I'll have clients calling me from another state saying they want to buy a house at 250,000, and I'm like, it ain't happening unless you want to buy a 1950s house.
Yeah.
In older neighborhoods in the valley.
And those price ranges are extremely competitive.
Yes.
So even when you get down into condos, and we didn't go over the condos and townhome numbers, but let me tell you, folks, they're strong.
Yeah.
So,
and then so obviously the higher you go in the price point, then obviously there is a difference on selling within those price range. However, there's still limited inventory, especially as we mentioned in the beginning, the over $1 million mark.
Yeah. And then when you're starting to look for certain, type of home, now you're
Right.
chopping down, you're cutting your
3-bedroom
product.
single story with a pool.
Yeah.
Or and a 3-car garage.
3+ bedroom.
And an RV parking.
Yeah. Now you're starting to get into unicorn territory.
Yes.
Anything that is sort of a little bit more inventory, sort of like, just the standard, you got a little bit more of these 2-story, 3 bedrooms. You're in the 750, 5 to 750. Maybe you can get a little better deal on them. Maybe you can work some more with the seller.
And especially in Summerlin. I mean, I'm telling you, those prices in Summerlin are going up. It's a very desirable area. And as Summerlin encroaches the Red Rock Canyon, those prices are not going to be cheap because they're going to have some really good views.
And number one reason is because that's it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest piece of land left. Once that is gone, that is it. You're talking about a closeout on the biggest home community. I think it's the largest in America.
Yeah.
For
30 plus years and running. And
yeah.
they still, technically, they say they have another 20 years to go. But depending on where the markets are and with inventory, like you said, there's nothing in Summerlin right now. So they need to, besides Ascension, people don't want to go to Summerlin South. I want Summerlin West, right? They need more what's closing out in the Red Point Village, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, that may be true.
There's no TriPoint. Where's TriPoint? Really? There's nothing, no TriPoint in the Kestrel Commons or Kestrel.
Yeah, well, they're going to, I'm sure they're coming.
There's no Lennar.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're all trying to make deals for that land.
Well, I know Lennar did buy some land up in the Kestrel area. So I don't know if they're going to be single-story luxury homes or what they're going to be. But the thing is that, I really like the Lennar product, especially, like I said, the next-gen suites and the RV garage. And we need that in Summerlin. Yeah,
when you're talking about things that save people money and give people space to do certain things, like store that RV, that big RV garage, that's saving somebody from having
because
to
these
store
communities
somewhere else.
don't allow you to put the RV in the parking lot, or I mean in the driveway, or
very,
on the
very
side.
limited on how much. And a lot of these people are coming here who are jet setters. They want to go around the country and stuff. But also your homes that have these next gen suites or casitas or things like that, those are so valuable right now,
and they're high demand.
Yep. They're just, and so Lennar's making products that they know are going to be, well, they looked around and said, what do we need to be building? And they started building.
And
smart.
You cannot find hardly any resale homes with the next gen suite. And to me, other builders are starting to do their next gen suites, but they're nowhere near in comparison to how Lennar builds them, especially with the single separate entry. And some of them have the garage attached to the house.
Yeah. You're right. And Lennar's been doing the next gen for a while. So they figured out the bugs. They figured out what people like. And so, some of the other builders might be a little behind on that. I do have, and although I think I may even have an offer in my email now, I have a Lake Las Vegas with a casita home listed at $648, $1,189 via Casa Palermo. Contact me if you want to get in on that.
That's a good price.
Yep.
Where's it at?
It's in Lake Las Vegas.
Oh, Lake Las Vegas.
Yep.
Okay.
It's got views. It's got single story. It's got,
that's
it's
a good price.
Everything you want in this house. 4-bedroom.
Yeah.
Casita.
What year?
2-car garage. 2006.
Okay. It's a little older.
2,400 square feet.
All right. So real quick, that's my opinion. I need a single story house with a view, with room for a pool, and my budget is the max. It ain't happening.
Well, listen, you may have to compromise somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It's wild that we're saying that about a 1.2 million budget, but
it's hard for single story homes, especially with a view. I know of a listing that just came out. I'm not going to say it because I have another client that's interested in it. That is single story, but it's at 1.399. So it's at 1.4, especially in these exclusive areas, like especially in Foothills and McDonald Highland or McDonald Ranch. You just can't find anything in that price range.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to increase
and they're not
it,
building
unfortunately.
much, so
right. And like I said before, and then we need to cut this and go over our bets. Unfortunately, not that I agree with it, but the Las Vegas has become the new California. And a funny thing is that I had a client says that we're East California now because of how the prices have gone ridiculous.
Yeah, well, but we have a lot of things that California doesn't have.
Yes.
And we're dealing with things, and we care about our law enforcement. We care about a number of things. You don't have the same costs for, living here, taxes. We're not trying to jam it up your tailpipe every chance we get here. I think that's why people are moving here.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the bets and wrap this baby up. So last month, Rob said the median price would have a $1,200 increase. I said a $2,000 increase. We were both off, and it was $1,000 decrease. However, since Rob came closer, he won the bet.
Consolation.
Consolation.
Yeah.
Then without offers, Rob said 4,400. Oh, I guess we should.
I remember, by the way, I will say this. I remember when we made this, I said, well, then it's easy for me. I'm just going to go under you. I was not really thinking we were going to go up, but I was like,
so I went first. So you get to go first this time on median price.
Okay. Well, you want me to do that now?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Okay. Median price. Wow. Let's see. I'll say a decrease of 1,500.
Okay, median price decrease of 1,500.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is one of those moments where it's going to look like real easy.
All right,
whoever nails this.
Yeah. Well, all right. So you're saying a 1,500 decrease. There was $1,000 decrease. If we continue the rate of low sales, no listings coming on the market, then that means that what's going to happen is slightly that the inventory is going to tick up, right? And what that means maybe with the inventory ticking up is that the median price will drop. So I'm going to say continue with the trend. I mean, I don't think it'll be a decrease, but I'm going to continue with $1,000 decrease.
That's what I was hoping you would say. Well, because it's a good number for me.
Yes.
You know, I would be more worried if you had gone a little lower under me.
All right. So
we'll
without offers, last month, Rob said 4,400. I said 4,200, and it was at 4,213. So with that same train of thought that I was having, with 1,000 decrease, and we dropped.
You almost nailed it.
I almost nailed it.
4,213.
And if we go up just slightly more, I'm going to say what Rob originally said as 4,400.
Oh, you son of a gun. I was gonna say the same number. Oh, man. That's a tough one. I was really going to say that same number. Damn.
Your price is right,
I think you've really nailed a number here. I don't know whether to go under or over you here.
I would go over like 100, like 4,500.
I'm going to go 44.1.
Oh, that's bad.
1 cent. I want $1. No, $1 above. I should have said 44,000 and a cent.
You want 44.01.
Yeah,
right.
But I could have just said a cent just to be a jerk.
$1. All right. So months of supply, Rob said 2.4 months. I said 2.3, and it was actually 2.5.
Yeah. I called this in my Robnostication a week later. I think it was about a week later, or maybe a little bit more. I saw the numbers. I'm cheating. I'm looking at the numbers all the time. So, anyway, you know what I'm going to say. It was marginal.
So what's it going to be for next month?
Well, I had a victory this month. I hope for another one next month, but it was marginal. And so I think we're going to look at, I'm going to say 2.6. No. 2.7 months of supply.
Okay, good, because I was going to do 2.6.
Right.
I was hoping, I was like, please don't choose 2.6.
I was going to go 2.6 and a half, but
all right, cool. Any questions before we wrap this bad boy up? We appreciate all those that had commented. No other new ones.
No.
Yeah. We thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it. You know,
you got worn out today. She's ready for a nap.
Well, not yet. It's not. This time change has really shifted. This is the first time that the setting the clock back has affected me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It always messes with me.
Yeah. Well, usually the spring forward affects me more than fall back. Anyway, folks, we really, really appreciate you watching us. And we may not get the views like these doomers. We may not get the subscribers like these doomers. However,
we're jealous.
We are jealous of that. However, we know what we're saying is factual. Okay. At least I like to believe that
I think the pool of real people looking at reality, ready to buy, people that are our customers that want to hear from us is much smaller than the pool out there of the people that are looking for the doomsday, clock.
They're not serious
finally
buyers
tick
to
12.
begin with.
Yes, they're not. They're, and so that's it. I'm not trying to belittle anybody. I'm just saying the reality. That's what it is.
Right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching.
Rock on.
And do it peacefully.
And
And we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.